I want to help you turn your website into a sales machine. I want your website to be like the new ATM where money just flows from your website. It seems scary, but I know that you can do it, and I'm here to help you take control of your online success. So today, we're going to talk about how to make your website a sales machine for you. Let's get started. Hey, I'm digital marketing coach Chris Heidlebaugh, and I train business owners, entrepreneurs, employees how to take control of your own online success. So how to do your own web design, SEO, social media, just truly how to succeed online yourself and do your own digital marketing in-house so you don't have to rely on working with marketing agencies all the time, okay? If you'd like to learn more about me, some of my programs, we have a Q&A community, different things like this, you can go to digitalmarketingcoach.com. Again, digitalmarketingcoach.com. Today, we're talking about how to turn your website into a sales machine. Now, as a web designer and SEO guy and digital marketing specialist, I truly believe that your website is your new business card. So I want to share with you some tips and ideas how you can start making more money from your website because it's so very important. So let's get started. Okay, so as we were talking about, the points to make your website a sales machine, talking about number one is we really want to focus on a high converting website. Okay, so what does that look like? So when I grade websites, like we have a Q&A community, and when clients and students come to me and they say, hey, this is what my website looks like now, can we give points and ideas? Typically, 9 times out of 10, the website says very vague information, quality service, outstanding results. Like, what the hell does that even mean, right? Like that doesn't it doesn't mean anything, right? Like everybody has something a little bit different, right? You need to talk to your customer at their pain point. They're not just hanging out online for nothing. Now, unless you're on social media or something like that, and you're there for entertainment or education, I get that. But when they come to your website, they're looking to see, hey, it's 3:00 in the morning. Can you clean my toilet, right? My toilet is clogged, right? I have spiders up and down my house. I need a pest control person, right? I need a dentist. I need an eye doctor. I need a med spa. I need a chiropractor. If I go to a chiropractor website and it says quality, what does that even mean, right? Like whole body health. I have no idea what that means either, right? So you kind of really have to tell people, what does that look like? Okay. So just like what I'm talking about, as a digital marketing coach, if I tell people, hey, look, are you frustrated of having to work with digital marketing agencies and you would like to make more revenue and more income for your business and to take control of your own online success? I'm here to help you. From web design and SEO to social media and branding, I'm going to help you take control of your own online success so that you don't have to rely on working with digital marketing agencies. Okay. Now that's a lot, but you get the point. After I'm done talking, you understand that, okay, yes, this guy is going to help us learn digital marketing ourselves. It could be a plumber. You land on somebody's plumbing website and it says 24/7 emergency plumbing services in Dallas, Texas. Okay, so now I know it's 24/7, emergency services. You're a plumber and you do this in Dallas, Texas. Okay, it could be something else where there's maybe a painting website. Okay, it could be just Miami painting services. From residential and commercial to interiors and exteriors, we're here to help you with all of your local Miami painting needs. Get a quote today or something like that, right? So you get the point. So it's not just compassionate care. Like if I go to a doctor's website and it says compassionate care, dude, I hope I get compassionate care, right? If I went to your website and it says you give sucky service, then obviously I'm going to be obviously it's not going to say that, right? But every single doctor is going to say the same thing. But I want to know that you specialize in my type of cancer that I have, right? That my type of disease that I have. I hope, I would expect you're going to give compassionate care, right? So please consider that as when you're looking at your website. If you looked at your website within 7 seconds, can I land on there without even scrolling and I'm looking at your image or whatever I see first on the page, is it going to tell me what it is that you do? Where do you do those services? And what's the next step? Is there a call to action button? Is there a phone number? Is there get a quote, schedule a consultation, something, right? And so please keep that in mind. On the flip side, don't have 55 things popping up, right? There's a pop-up for this coupon code, pop-up for a chat box, pop-up for our reviews, you're dude, I'm just trying to get help, right? So just consider what your customer is going through on your website. So having a high converting website is going to be very, very important. One of the key things too, as part of that is maybe you're not even asking for the sale. Okay. I can't tell you again how many websites I go to and people are like, I never get any leads. Well, you don't ask for the lead. You just have a page. Hey, we offer these services. Great. Nothing else, right? You don't give them a phone number, a button to click, a contact form, anything else. It's almost like you're turning into a brochure website. You're educating people, but you're not actually asking for the sale, right? So there's a cyber psychology of how you build websites, of where you place things, what colors are you using, how are you formatting these things so what's viewable in the screen? Like when I'm on my laptop and I'm looking at something, like, can I see all the elements that I want to see? And that is going to convert. So please, join our community, okay? Even if it's for 1 month and say, hey, please rip apart my website. Tell me what I need to do differently. I will. Trust me. I think you've got that point, right? I get very frustrated when people are like, hey, why am I not getting any sales from my website? Well, you're not asking for the sale. You don't even have a phone number on your website for them to contact you. It's kind of like, what, right? So please keep that in mind that, to have a highly converting website, you need to make it where people understand quickly what it is that you do. How do I view your services? And then what's the next step? Do I call you? Do I email you? Do I fill out a form? So please look at your website and make sure it looks like it's something that can convert. Okay, number 2, you want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly, right? If your website is built from 2005 and I go to it and it's like stuff's all over the place, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to hang out on a broken website, okay? If you have broken images, if you used AI and it has misspelled words or weird grammar or something else, it just shows like it's an amateur built website and I'm going to split, okay? So your website has to be mobile friendly. The cell phone is kind of like the new ATM, right? People are searching for home services. They're looking for different things. Now, granted, there is a demographic that is going to use desktops and laptops and things like that for maybe bigger purchases or different things. There's exceptions to everything, right? I know Ryan Serhant in New York, okay? He'll sell $1 million, $100 million house through text messages, okay? So yes, is there an exception to every rule? Absolutely. Okay. Some people are going to be like social media. They're like, oh, I don't get on social media, so I'm not going to use it for my business either. Okay. Well, that's you. That's not me. Right. Your competition is going to run right over you because they're going to get all the customers from social media. Right. But with that being said, is make sure your website is mobile friendly, but also is make sure it's optimized for speed. Okay. If I go to your website and it's loading in 6 seconds, that sounds like it should be, 6 seconds, no big deal. Right. But dude, in website time, that's forever, right? So the more pictures you have, if they're not optimized, if you have videos playing, if you have a lot of things that's going on, it's going to make the user experience bad. Because it goes back to point number 1 is you want to have a highly converting website, but part of that too is you want to make sure it's fast loading. You want to make sure that's mobile friendly. You want to make sure all these different things to make sure that it is working. Why would you want to discount a portion of the population? Let's say, for an example, you got 1,000 people to your website each month, and 70% of those people use a mobile device. Why would you want to throw 700 people into a digital world where it's not a very good user experience? Maybe there's buttons you can't see. Maybe you have pictures that you have words baked into the picture, so they're not stacked like layers, right? So you don't have a picture with words on top and then a button on top. You have everything just baked into a picture. I can't even read it. I don't even know what's going on, right? So all these things really matter. So please consider your website speed and the mobile friendliness, because again, you don't want to turn away customers. It's very, very important. Okay, so point number 3, let's talk about some tools to analyze your website. I know you're like, dude, this guy's ripping me apart. This is crazy, right? But it's one of those things. I want you to succeed. I need air to breathe. And these things really matter, right? People don't hire me as a digital marketing coach to tell you everything you want to hear. But I'm not here to make up issues or make up problems. If something's broken, I'm going to tell you it's broken, right? I want you to win online, right? I want you to make more revenue, more sales, and I don't want you to be dependent on working with a marketing agency. That's why I'm here to release you from that, to encourage you and empower you to do your own digital marketing and not rely on other people. And if you do rely on other people, hold them accountable because you know what's going on too, right? So anyways, let's talk about some software and tools that you can use, okay? So there's tools like GT Metrics. There's tools like Page Speed Insights by Google. You can run your website through these tools and it'll tell you how is it loading, what's loading, What's causing some hiccups or issues with the loading speed. Okay. You can use tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs or Ubersuggest to do SEO audits. You can look through to see what's broken with your website. You can look at SEO. You can look at keywords. You can see what does your rankings look like, right? Obviously, if you're connected to Google, you're going to have Google Analytics. You're going to have Google Search Console. You're going to have Google Ads. And so these things are all very, very important. And so these are things that you can use to monitor your progress, right? The last thing you want to do is for an agency or somebody to tell you, oh yeah, you're getting all these people to your website, but there's no way to prove it, right? So go to Google Analytics, get an account, put the code on your website, start tracking where people are coming from. If you're using WordPress, you can get a tool. I think it's like a Google Site Kit. You can go in there and connect, all of your things together. If you're on Google Ads, make sure you have access to that ads account. So if you're working with a marketing agency and they're like, oh yeah, like we're running ads and you're spending $25,000 a month, you want to make sure that the ads are actually being ran for that, right? If you're going in there and you're like, dude, I see you only ran $2,000 in ads, where the rest of the money go to? Then you can start to see, well, was there a retainer? Was there this? Was there that? And you can kind of get an idea with some of these things, right? It's all about accountability, okay? So you can use some of these tools. Again, GT metrics, Google Page Speed Insights to check out the speed. You can use things such as, again, SEMrush or SEMrush, SEMrush, Ahrefs, Ubersuggest for some of your SEO stuff. If you're looking for a new website, you can go to something like Theme Forest. And again, this video is not necessarily to get into the weeds about that, but we'll talk about that in a second. But again, look at your website. If it's very outdated, if it's not very good, you might consider getting a new theme. But those things are very important to help you kind of get started with some of that stuff. Okay, so the next point, again, we want to talk about call to action. Okay, so again, if I go to your website and we know that it's a fast loading website, you're talking about your services, your service areas, things like that. You need to make sure that you have multiple ways that people can get a hold of you. Now, every business is going to be a little different, right? Some people are going to use like CRM systems. Like if you're using something like HubSpot or other things, there might be a chat feature that maybe collects their name, their email, their phone numbers, things like that. And then you reach out to them, right? Maybe you sell vehicles. Maybe you have like a portal where they can enter their information, right? You might go to like a cars.com for an example, and you can say, hey, I'm interested in this car. This is my budget or whatever. And it sends them an email, right? So when you look at your website, is there a phone number? Is there a button that they can click on to go to? Is there other things that they can interact with so you can get that lead and get that sale perhaps, right? So think about your call to actions, and are they weak? Are they just like read more, learn more, right? Or are they get your free proposal, get started today, take advantage of our $97 offer, right? Here's our phone number, call now, 24/7 services, something, right? You need to have something a little bit more than just contact, right? You need to have a little bit more, something's compelling, something that makes people want to click. You might have pop-ups, you might have email marketing where it's like, hey, enter your email and get 15% off your next purchase. I mean, there's so many different variations, but again, think about your call to actions. And because again, without the call to actions, you are calling them to action. That's what makes sense, right? So if you don't have call to actions, how are you getting the lead? How are you getting the sale? And really consider some of those things. Okay, so in this point, I want to talk about analytics and tracking, right? So we kind of talked about software and stuff, but I want to really hammer this home that you want to know what's happening, right? So if you're using something like Google Analytics, which is great, and that's what I would recommend, you want to see, okay, when they land on your website, for one, how many impressions of your website showed up? You say, okay, hey, this month we had 100 times our website showed up and we had 10 people go to our website. Well, now you can see, okay, so we had a 10% click-through rate where maybe it was 100 people saw your website, 10 people actually went there. So then out of those 10 people, did you get any leads? Did you get any sales? Okay, if you said, well, I don't think we got one phone call. Okay, why did they not convert? So what's nice about analytics is because everything's being tracked, you can see, okay, we had 10 people, we had 100 people go to the website or 10 people go to the website or whatever, right? And they only stayed on our website for 16 seconds. Okay, well, you know that obviously you probably need to do some conversion rate optimization stuff, right? Like we call it CRO. So basically you're going to go to your website and say, okay, what can we do to convert our customers, our people into customers or have them click on a button or do something, right? So these are things that are going to be very, very important, is look at your website to say, what can we do differently? So, and you can get even more advanced. There's software you can put on there that it'll tell you what they clicked on and how far did they scroll and all these different things. So, I mean, everything's being tracked. Okay. So you can use that to your advantage. So please, at least at the very minimum, get Google Analytics so you can see, okay, it's better with the more people, right? We had 5,000 people to our website. Okay. Out of those 5,000 people that came to our website, we only got 20 contact forms. Why? Okay. Is the traffic faked? Is it from other countries? Is it something based on demographics? Is it something's broken, right? You might be like, you may not even know your contact forms are broken. You may not know your website's not mobile friendly. You may not know all these different things, so you don't know until you start tracking. But once you start tracking, you're gonna know a whole lot more. So please start tracking as quickly as you can. All right, so lastly, as a digital marketing coach, it's gonna be one of those things where I truly want you to succeed, right? So I don't care if you don't work with me, you work with somebody else, but please have somebody advise you on what works, right? What makes a good website? It doesn't have to be the prettiest. Some people are like, I got to have 65 things like floating and going off and this, that, and the other. And honestly, the more animations that you have buttons, the slower your website gets for most things, right? Now, there's always an exception to everything. And there's always somebody who's going to challenge me that's like, okay, well, if you have things that slide in and pop-ups and stuff, I can use a caching system or software to make it load faster. I get it. It's all there. But for a normal website, you go in there and you're like, well, I feel like my website's boring. I want things to slide around and I want this and I want that. And I want 65 pop-ups and I want whatever. Next thing you know, it's like there's so much going on that now your customers get, they leave, or your website's so slow now, okay? So when I'm working with a client, what I do is I say, okay, let's look at your website. Let's go there. Let's look at it as a customer. What are we seeing as a customer? Does this make sense? Let's make sure that we can click on buttons. Do they work? When we click on a contact form, who's getting the contact form? Is there an autoresponder? Is there some sort of pipeline or whatever's going on, right? Let's test the systems, right? And test the systems monthly or quarterly or something to make sure things keep working, right? I can't tell you how many times people came to me and they're like, Chris, we haven't got a lead forever and we're working with this company. And honestly, the marketing company they're working with did a really good job, but they clicked one email came in that was like some spam email, some medical something another, right? And they sent it to spam, that one email. Well, now every other email that had that same topic, like, website inquiry, also went to spam. So they thought that they haven't been receiving any emails, but in fact they have, but they've been going to spam, okay? So you really want to watch these things to make sure that you are not just losing out on leads because of some technical issue, okay? So again, when I'm working with a client, we're looking at, again, is your website fast loading? Is it mobile friendly? Is there buttons for people to click on? Are they finding what they want? Do they understand these things? And when you do, your website really does turn into a money-making machine, okay? So if you'd like to have me look at your website, maybe you want to, hire me to do a website evaluation or simply join our Q&A community, you definitely can. Go to digitalmarketingcoach.com. Again, digitalmarketingcoach.com. I'm Chris Heidlebaugh. Thank you so much for being here. I do hope that you can turn your website into a money-making machine. And until next time, I hope you have a great day. Take care.